Bust 3 shots for the purge, never cheap shots for the purge. You taking cheap shots for the burn? We got the streets watching the purge, making weed hot in return. Haters on the sideline, keep watching, observe. Keeping company with ops on the curb. We not for the herbs like celery, rocking the burbs. Brother, we clocking and earn, locking and turn.
In a world where Mr. Bravo didn't mess up the first intro.
So he messed up the second one. No. Well, you know what? Purge of the BS is back once again. You know the purge of the BS must begin.
That's a huge bitch.
And as usual, I gotta bring on my boys, Bricks, Bravo, gentlemen, would you please join me in another Purge of the BS? Please!
Yeah, why not, yo? I haven't seen you since the last time I messed up the intro.
Well, before we get started, anybody that's tuned in, make sure you like, subscribe, bang that bell, because we're having some issues with the notifications. So just make sure you bang that bell so you can get notifications when we drop some new stuff. So, gentlemen, how you doing today? How's it going?
I'm good, yeah. I'm just over here pulling the curtain on this movie magic.
Movie magic.
I'm very handsome.
That's always a good thing to be. That's always a good thing to be. Now,
take your
guys,
hands out your pants,
right,
and control these sound effects.
Right. All right.
There you go. Boom. Boom. Yeah. So, gentlemen, it's been a very active week of the BS. A story came to me recently of something that was inserted in the district.
Nice. I see what you did there.
Yeah, and so there's a recent, I guess, some litigation about, I don't know if it's abortion or what they're talking about. It's a right to contraception, which I think is okay. So in, I guess, I don't know if protest or if they're like supporting it, they decided to put a 20-foot inflatable IUD in front of the White House.
Okay.
Now, here's my thing. It wasn't taken down. It means that somebody got a permit to put something on the White House lawn that looked like this.
Is that the White House lawn?
No, ain't the White House lawn.
It's in that area.
Right.
You see the structures in the background. It's down
there by Pennsylvania Avenue.
Yeah,
I see what you did there. We're talking about an IUD being in that area.
Yeah,
it was inserted. It was inserted into
that
area. Now here's the thing. The litigation, because I read up on, I read up on some shit, right? I read up on, and apparently
the problem allowed to read now?
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
And
blacks have been reading for a few years now.
Yeah, and this is a few years. It just started.
So you gotta love the blacks.
Yeah, you love how they come and they just
people
make
always
it through.
question if I'm black, and I don't think so, but my parents are, so we'll see how that goes.
So I gotta ask your cousin DJ Khaled first to see.
We the best music.
We the blacks.
Yeah.
So guys, here's my thing. The problem apparently is that people want access to free contraception. And
they give it out at the clinic.
That's a part of it, but what they want to include in contraception is
the expense.
I hate to use the term, but let's say cancellation of birth. Okay, they want to, so they call in that contraception. But I thought contraception was the preventing pregnancy.
It is.
So
it is.
I mean, it's a little late to the party. Like, is Plan B out there? Like,
that's what I'm saying. So it takes away the funding from Plan B.
They're also trying to pass a law to call Plan B a controlled substance and try to put it on the schedule.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting.
And the whole thing for me is that their arguments are invalid because they're not telling the truth.
See, the problem with all of this is when you do that, when you start making all of this stuff where you can't get it or it's illegal and all of that, then people start enlisting Plan C. Just like they did with alcohol. You made alcohol illegal, you got a prohibition. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you got people making liquor in the basement, selling swill. It gets disgusting.
And it's bad when they go to Plan D, which is D for dry cleaning hanger.
But see, here's the thing.
See, I was trying to stay away from that. You know,
we always try. We always try.
That's my job, though.
Right. So the thing is, those procedures are ridiculously expensive for birth terminations, right? So apparently, when they reversed the whole Roe versus Wade thing, it made it so that the states could make their own rules, and now that's outlawed in certain states. And now the feds want to say that they're not going to give any funding to anyone that's giving out contraception, but that also includes termination of birth. So I think the issue for me is right, but that's what I'm saying. A condom and a birth termination to me are not the same thing. You see what I'm saying?
The problem is that their arguments are not valid, because what they're really trying to do is make it so poor people have to have babies, right?
Why would they do that?
Because that's the working populace. All the people making the laws have already graduated and not have to be blue collar. You know what I mean? So they're trying to make the poor people keep having babies and not be able to support them. So they either go into the system or they never achieve to a certain level, and they go right into
get shadow banned because there is way too much truth spewing out of your face, good sir.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. But I get what you're saying, but I don't think we're supposed to be able to say
everything boils down to that dollar, bruh. And I was speaking with someone the other day about polygamy. I'm going to say, why is it illegal? And the reason why it is illegal is because you could have up to 6 or 10 adults living in one house, each having babies. And think about that income tax, because you're not married. Think about how much you're claiming in that household. That's the only reason why. Because why would Uncle Sam care what you do in the bedroom?
Right.
It all boils down to that dollar. Not only that, think about how much income all of these wives and this husband or you know, or wife and many husbands, think about how much income they're bringing in. And then if they decide to start businesses and then use life insurance policies and play the rules that Donald Trump plays, then they're not even paying taxes.
Right. So there's a whole house full of money coming in and not enough going on.
It's all about that dollar. It has nothing to do with them babies.
Here's another thing to think about. A lot of these policies and stuff are being brought by the religious right and the evangelists. If correct me if I'm wrong, the end goal of the Christian religion is to be like or be with Jesus, right? And to be with Jesus is to help bring about the end times, just let people be crazy so the second coming happens even sooner. So you're slowing it down. You're slowing it down by trying to make people moral in ways that they don't even want to do.
Statement, sir. We definitely, you know what I mean? There's going to be some people that don't like that.
Of course, I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. I'm sorry that you're offended if you don't like this.
I'm not offended.
You know what I mean?
Get what you're saying.
But I will say this. And I believe it was Leviticus 13:1. It said,
quoting the Bible.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Definitely Leviticus.
You know what? Let's keep it moving.
No, but there was one question left on the table.
Do we have a Baddie in the Brightlights?
Thank you. Thank you. So we were talking about contraception. Well, look, there was so much going on in the news recently, right? And it was tough for me to decide on the Baddie. I almost went WNBA, but the person that I would have put up would not have necessarily qualified in the Baddie category.
Come on. That used to be our bread and butter, yo. The Winba. We love the Winba.
I'm just going to say the name for the honorable mention of whatever mention they want to have, but Caitlin Clark has been in the headlines recently. You know who Caitlin Clark is? She's the new Larry Bird of WNBA, if you want to call it.
Yeah, Q reached out to her. He was going to sign her for like $3 million.
Oh, she's getting that money, but the women in the WNBA don't like that because they've been broke for years. And this lady's coming in with shoe contracts and getting millions when they were making $45 grand.
And they would hate the person that's bringing money to the WNBA because that's what's going to happen.
True.
Because the
turning the
WNBA's
cameras on.
The WNBA's tagline is this: WNBA, buy tickets because there's only so many uncles.
Well, guys,
why would you get in the way of that? I'm like emotional shit. Why would you do that?
I mean, there's
a Jordan now. You got a Jordan. That means people are going to be watching, which is going to increase your money. And all of these years of being broke, this is all you can say is, we don't like her.
Yeah, you're real mean to it.
Y'all don't listen to music. Y'all don't listen to Post Malone. He broke out with White Iverson.
Right. So
let it happen.
Special shouts to Caitlin Clark. Let me just give her shout because I'm not going to put her picture up because I know how we can get.
Okay.
And let's just say she's really good at basketball.
She is.
Okay. She's good at basketball. But our actual baddie in the Brightlights this week, I went into a different sports round.
Brittany Griner's going to body slam her on the corner of a pool.
Man, we're not even going to
get on with it, man. Get on.
Thank you. Let me take it to something that we can look at, okay? So, Lee, I was brought to being introduced to this tennis player named Jasmine Paolini. She's an Italian tennis player that was recently in the Open, whatever was going on.
She has all of the makings of a beautiful girl, but she just doesn't look beautiful. Is this a terrible thing?
She's in sports mode.
What kind of picture is this, man?
This is to highlight the fact that the woman is an athlete. Okay, if you want me to just show you trim all day, I can.
Yes,
but I'm trying to be respectful.
Yes, please.
I'm trying to be respectful. See what I'm saying? That's all you want to see.
Okay,
that's all you want to see.
Well, I want to see something that highlights her having a beautiful face.
Yes, well, she does have a beautiful face and a beautiful body and a beautiful backhand. Okay,
I will tell you this: I'm looking at this picture and I am aroused by that beautiful bouquet of background. The way they shot that picture, the way they did it blurry in the background. It's like you didn't even let me finish the sentence.
Because you went too far down the wrong street, man.
I said I was aroused by how well the picture was taken. That bouquet.
He definitely did say it. There's no denying that.
Should still not be that aroused.
They must have used like a f3.8 film.
She kind of reminded me of Justin Bieber's old girlfriend.
Well, she's new to the scene as far as I know, but she's been killing.
Her name Selena Gomez. She kind of reminds me of her.
Oh, okay. Well, do you guys watch tennis at all?
If it's on.
When Serena Williams is playing, I used to watch it when Serena.
My interest severely is related, like directly correlated to how many black people are playing.
Okay, well, this girl is.
I feel like I like to watch the sports when it's not a lot of black people playing because I like to see that one or two that just house everybody. Like Serena Williams.
All right, so when you watch it, do you watch it with the sound on? And then people next door think you're watching porn?
I love it myself. I love the sound.
No, I mean, I don't know how that sounded, but it just, I love to see us excel in sports. But see, when I see sports that are like mostly us, I always feel like I'm watching the Spartan. We call it the Spartan, not the Spartans. Like those gladiators.
The Coliseum, the gladiators.
Yeah, it's just a whole bunch of rich white folks that own goddamn niggas, and it
crabs
just
in a barrel.
Yeah, that's true.
But
the girl just got swept out in the finals by this other lady whose name I cannot pronounce, but she definitely would not have made the Baddie highlight either. So,
well, let's go back to Serena Williams. Okay.
You know, okay. I don't think international sports allows for transgender athletes to compete.
I'm just wondering. No, because there was a whole thing where there was a hermaphrodite track star years ago. I believe that she was allowed to compete.
Oh, but that's just a little bit of both.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper.
Because she was born that way. But a trans competing with their new gender, I don't think that's fair, because
we've covered that. We're not going to get back into that. We almost got in trouble last time we was talking about that, man. We was talking about their neck and like what.
But look, hold up now. I do want to go back to Serena Williams, because they have shows
and Venus.
There are shows that film her, and where you can see the raw power and how strong she is when she would play. Like, I don't understand how any of those girls were returning.
Of her forehand? Have you seen a freeze frame before? Jesus, that's
what I'm saying.
Like,
she had a lot of aggression.
Dude, I have never had that definition in my fucking forearm ever. When she's doing a forehand with a top spin, you see the muscles ripping in that chick.
Bro, she's killing it. She's a very huge woman. Like, she's strong. Like I don't want it with her. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I always applaud her, but I also applaud her competitors for being able to return those serves.
Oh yeah.
Like, bro, if a tennis ball was in my direction at that speed, I'm getting out of the way. I'm not. I
don't play this sport.
Like, I'm going to the guy selling hot dogs or something. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna watch whoever's next. I'm not doing that.
To say she was gonna be here, that's not fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, let's give it up. Let's give it up for our baddie in the bright lights of the week. She did lose the final, but she'll be back for the next tournament. I'll keep my eye out on her because she's a baddie.
Yeah, she is. But
here's what it is.
If you could, if I could ask her one question, this is the question that I would ask her. And my sound effects are not working.
Yeah,
there we go. Now, if I could ask.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Hey, who mans is this?
That's what I'd ask her.
Who mans is this?
I like the intro
right there. I love it. Now, guys, we gotta take a trip. We gotta take a trip that I know you've seen this video or at least heard about it. We got our whose mans is a gentleman named Mr. Corey Harris.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, Corey Harris was recently on a Zoom court appearance for driving on a suspended license.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys understand that when you're driving on a suspended license, you probably shouldn't be driving on the Zoom meeting.
Before we go any further, those teeth right there kind of remind me of like when you see like a rat and you can see the two front teeth right there. Like, does his mouth close?
I don't believe so.
At least it
doesn't close in this video.
Because his lips look like them donuts.
Before we go any further, he looks like the guy who farted.
Yeah, he does. He's got this.
He looks like the guy who farted. Like, if there's any question and there's a fart lingering in a room,
everybody's looking at him.
It is many people. He looks like the guy who farted in a room that y'all can't. Like, if y'all are sequestered for jury duty, and he's like in the middle of the pack, and he looks like he's the guy who farts. And then
I gotta be honest, man. Cedric Simpson right now looks like he's about to lift up a baby in front of the Lion King, yo.
I declare him justice.
Okay, look, guys. Let's not mess with the honorable Judge Simpson has been viral numerous times for what he seems to be dealing with in his jurisdiction. I guess he just got a lot of weird people over there because it's always something with this guy as the judge.
That motherfucker look like Caesar.
It's Louisiana, bro. That's what happened. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, let's watch the clip. This is brought by NBC on this one.
No, it's
but
not.
everybody
No,
has
it's
this
Michigan.
clip.
It's Michigan. I'm sorry. It's
Michigan. There you go. Michigan. So like Detroit, maybe. I don't know. But somewhere in Michigan. So let's check it out. And let's talk about
Doesn't
it.
have a license. He's suspended and he's just driving.
That is correct, Your Honor.
I don't even know why he would do that. So defendant's bond is revoked in this matter. Defendant is to turn himself into the Washington County Jail by 6 p.m. today. Failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond.
Oh my God.
Yes. You predicted it, Bricks.
And quite frankly, your client has made the assertion that the Pittsfield Township, as well as this court, was acting on some type of defective or faulty information, which I will tell you, counsel, caused the court, given what the court did, to investigate what my ruling was. With any reference to your client having had a license on that day, and some indication or misunderstanding as to whether or not he had a license. Let me make it very clear, based upon what the court looked at, he has never had it. Ever. And has never had a license in the other 49 states and commonwealths that form up this great union. Mr. Harris indicated that at some point he had been involved in some accident. Then being involved into the accident, that he was basically bedridden or at least housebound, he could not get to the Secretary of State. He purposely stated that he could not get to the Secretary of State, which, for the way we handle things in this court, would have placed him in a whole different category. We would have tried to find a way to figure it out. And the reason I know that is because Mr. Harris, on December 28th of 2023, do you know where you were?
December 23.
23rd, 2023.
I know I was laid up from our
You were
accident.
at the Secretary of State's office. And you were at the Secretary of State's office because you redid and got your new Michigan ID.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't see the second part, right?
Oh, I saw all of it.
I didn't see the second part. I only saw the thing where he got pulled up and didn't have his license. Like, I saw the first part, and then I heard he never had a license, but I didn't see that he went back to court and the judge gave him a tongue lashing from behind the dentures.
That's when it was brought out that he didn't have a license, because the judge actually just asked about it, had the research done, went to the state's attorney's office or the state's whatever, where you get your state ID. And since he was 19, he's been going every year on the dot, getting a state ID. And in Michigan, you are not allowed to have a both state ID and a driver's license. So he knew he never had a driver's license.
So, hold on a second now.
Yeah.
You mean this man never actually ever had a license? Like, he never actually had one?
Never.
Okay, all right. Wait a second. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
So how did they reinstate a license 2 years before that didn't exist?
No, they didn't reinstate a license. What he did, he got removed his permission to drive because of child support.
But he didn't have a license.
It doesn't matter about a license. His permission to drive was removed.
But you got permission to drive when you have a license.
No,
so when you lose that
regardless.
permission, you lose your license.
No, that's how the law is written. The law is written is to remove your permission to drive. So that's why he said nobody ever told me nothing. Right?
No, the nigga knew though. That's what he was saying. He knew all of that, but he tried to say initially that he had his license like it was reinstated type of shit, and they didn't take it off the books that it was suspended. That's how he tried to play it at first.
No,
But
they
he never
removed
had a
his
license.
right.
That's different.
They removed his right to drive because of child support.
Yeah,
Right,
but then
they
they
do-
gave it back to him in 2022.
They removed it. They removed the restriction.
You're gonna have to do. They removed the restriction of him to drive in 2022.
Correct.
Right? Okay, so he
Yeah, we
didn't
don't
have
disagree.
a license, but how can they, restrict something you never had in the first place?
All they do is put a block at the DMV that this person
So he
cannot
just
have.
can't get a license. He couldn't
Right.
even
Yes.
get a
Right.
license.
That's what I'm saying. So even if he had one or didn't have one, anything that he had through the DMV is not valid. Period.
Okay,
As
so
far
what
as
he would have
operating
had
a
to do
vehicle.
was to just go get a damn license, because if the restriction was removed, then he could have just gone and got a license. Is what
He
you're saying?
could have, but he's been getting his
He just
ID
didn't do it.
since he was 19 every year.
How the hell did he not get more charges for driving on a suspended license then? Damn, nigga
He's
don't look
probably a good driver. And he was laid up on his accident.
Okay, all right. Well, we're gonna let Mr. Corey Harris and his situation continue. He'll probably end up with a fine or something like that. Because at least the one good thing is he didn't crash or hurt anybody. He just was driving and wasn't supposed to be driving. So who knows how he got the car or whether or not the car got insurance. We ain't gonna go into all that. What I will say is there's more than enough BS for people to be pressing charges on folks about. Let's give this guy a fine and send him back home. Let him go back and be laid up. Just saying.
That's true. That's true. And anybody wants to argue the facts, just tell us in the
He
comments.
drove that long
We'll talk
since
to
he was
you.
19?
Yeah.
Shit, he's got a good driving record.
Detroit don't give a fuck, yo.
So we're not gonna talk trash about Detroit. I don't really know Detroit well enough.
Detroit gets shit done. They like whatever, yo. That's what it is. That's what.
Yeah, but they put that man in jail. He in jail. They put him in jail.
That's because he lied. He lied about a license.
Let it go. I'm gonna let it go.
It's just another.
Well, how long
ticket.
did they put him in jail?
Well, they put you in jail with a bond, so it's until your bond is paid. So if you didn't have no money, he's in jail until the next court date. But I'm pretty sure some people bonded him out, because I'm sure his bond wasn't like a murder charge or nothing. It was probably.
I think somebody bonded out
you
the
miss?
guy who.
I missed what? What did I miss
fought
now,
it.
Bravo? Please.
What he said, he was like, "Is he driving without a license while he's in court? While he's in
but
court
that's the
remotely?"
other thing.
Do you know what he said? He says, "Report to the jail, and if you don't report to the jail, you have a bench warrant without bond."
And he reported to the jail.
Okay,
And then, and so he went to jail for that. Then he was at a hearing. That was his bond review, which is what we were just looking at, where he was trying to get it so that he didn't have to pay a bond. But the judge wasn't having that. So he still had a bond. I don't know if he's still in jail right now, but when he walked out that courtroom, he didn't go home. He went to the jail.
He probably
At that point.
saved us from cheddar when he was laid up from his accident.
Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, the point I'm trying to make isn't that the man didn't do anything wrong. I'm just saying that jail in and of itself as a punishment is not always the best way to do things. Like if this man drove around since he was 19, didn't really hurt nobody, and he was in court for driving on a suspended license. That's what my issue is. It's like, how could you get a ticket for a suspended license if you never had a license? That wasn't what when he appeared and the judge read off the charge initially for what he was on the Zoom for, he said it's driving on a suspended license.
Right. The thing
So
is,
how are you suspending a license that never existed in the first
because
place?
sometimes there's disparity between the charges. See, this is the thing that can get him off. Right? Pause. This is the thing that can get him acquitted, because the charge is driving on a suspended license, and he never had a license in the first place. Because when you get hooked up on child support like that, it removes your right to drive. And so he was mischarged. So he
Who
can get
laid
off.
down and had a baby with Biz Markie? That's what I want to know.
Right.
I mean,
never
people
closed his
wanna
mouth.
know.
Somebody did. All right, guys. Well, all the best for Mr. Harris.
Well,
Hopefully he gets a bottom bunk.
At the end of the day,
That is some pretty fucked up shit.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Can you say what the fuck did I do last night?
No, bad idea. Don't do it.
he looks like the originator of morning breath.
Yeah, that dude's mouth is never closed in any of those shots. Ever.
He probably has 17 tricky wisdom teeth.
I bet you, I bet you all the backs of his teeth are tan.
Jeez. The man is going through it right now.
I bet you there is a fine veneer of leather on the back of all of his teeth.
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
Veneer of leather. That's
all
what
right,
it is.
Guys, I have so many bad ideas that I don't even know where to start.
Start at the first one.
Start at the beginning.
Right.
Okay.
Top of the list.
All right.
Got to.
Maybe in the middle.
Yes.
Well, let's start it out by just identifying the obvious. It is
that Diddy's on the beach.
No. I said we weren't gonna. We're not doing Diddy tonight. Okay?
Pause.
Yeah, it depends on who's speaking.
You know what? You know who's speaking? Recently in Philadelphia, cut the damn applause.
Backshot Bieber?
Yeah. Recently in Philadelphia.
Bustin' Skeeter.
Okay. All right, guys. Now while I have this picture up, do y'all see this?
That's his
I don't
name.
know about those shoulders.
Look, that there is a sir.
There's a lot of outfits going on.
All right, well, let me explain. Okay. There was a pro-Palestinian peace rally and pride parade and protest in Philadelphia this past week.
Nice.
A lot of
That's a lot of peas.
Yeah, a lot of pee on the streets, right? A lot of pee
They
on
were
the streets of
pushing
Philly.
pee.
They were pushing that pee down the
They
street.
were popping that perennium for Palestine.
So I want to talk about this. I want to talk about it because everybody's been doing the protests for the Palestine-Israel conflict, and it's a lot of different people of different groups have latched on to that cause, including now the Leviticus. Okay, and so there was a quick protest here, and I just wanted to play the clip for you. So you guys got a moment to hear the.
I guess we do.
Pride as we know it cannot be separated from our current political and economic climate. Pride celebrations have merely become a public relations instrument used by the state to divert public attention away from the configuration of violent, repressive policies and practices inflicted upon queer bodies worldwide.
A lot of peas,
We
man.
say, no pride in genocide!
No pride in genocide!
Fuck your corporate pride!
Fuck your corporate pride!
That's not catchy.
Allow Philly pride to divert attention away from dichotomy, to mobilize against institutional complacency in genocide, occupation, and displacement.
So, guys,
No. This motherfucker has a freaking Palestinian prayer cloth and a half shirt.
Yeah. Well, that's what they wear in Philadelphia.
Propose that he, prolapse himself from the situation and propose these preponderances in Palestine while he's popping his perineum. You know what I mean? I propose that he does those things, but I think that this person who's propagating this propaganda is presently unemployed.
Okay. Well, that was a lot of pee, man. There's pee everywhere now, thanks to you. So I have an interesting question. Do these folks know that over in Palestine they would probably stone them in the middle of the street for the same exact
pelt
protest?
them with pellets. Persistently.
Yeah.
Now, but here's my thing. Like, how
Until
can
the
you be on
pauses.
That's like I mean, I don't understand. I can't even like liken this to anything. I'm trying to think of like what
First
this would
of
be
all,
like.
Come on, man. This guy's out here doing his thing, protesting. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anybody's gonna be like, hey, tell him to shut up he's trying. And what's going on over there is disgusting.
Yes.
It's disgusting. I cannot believe that we live in a country that has their back while they're doing that.
Yeah.
But I do know.
Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. You know we get in trouble.
It is preposterous and provably repugnant.
Please. I mean, I understand that this country is all about the dollar, but like, look at the Holocaust, man. The Holocaust, bro.
We don't want to perpetuate our pennies towards the pummeling of Palestine.
Oh my
Bruh.
How much? Look, we can't go into the Holocaust, man. You know
I'm
we can't.
saying that happened. And now this is happening, and it's it's bad. It's like, what are you doing?
Right. And but here's the thing: the people who are protesting for this situation are pride folks.
Because the problem is a prehistoric president.
No, the that's a good one.
Puppeteer.
The puppeteer of this propaganda that promotes this pummeling of Palestine. And persistent.
You're good at this one, man.
You're really good at the pee. You got a lot of pee in your mouth.
I'm saying it's a lot of pee coming out of his mouth.
A lot of pee coming out your mouth.
But look, man. He got me laughing, but I'm dead serious, man. Like, at some point, people have to stop and get a little bit of humanity, man. Like, what? Yeah. This guy should not. Is this a guy?
Yes.
I don't want to defend anybody. He should not have to be out in the streets talking any of this, man.
Right. He shouldn't have to be out in the street, because what change would this gentle person offer? You know what I'm saying?
No, but I'm saying I respect him because he's doing what you said. When someone has a platform, use it for good. Because you get upset.
You get upset whenever on their persona.
All right, bravo.
Props to them. Props to them.
No, I mean, because if I was standing there and he just started yelling into a microphone, my normal reaction is like, chill, nigga. Like,
yeah.
Like, why are you that serious? But what he's talking about, and somebody filmed it and put it on YouTube, good for him. Like, it's just, it's really disgusting that we live in a world where people, like, there's two different sides to this. Like, there's people that are with it, and there's people that are against it. Everybody should be against this.
Everybody should be against this, but devil's advocate is this. I know why these evil motherfuckers are doing that. Because that is our only jump off point in the Middle East.
You talking about Gaza Strip?
Yeah. And Israel.
We're getting too deep. You already know they don't want us talking all that shit.
We have a blank spot in our world.
I know exactly why. You know the gang I'm in.
But the whole thing is that they're not just saying that.
It's a better way to do this. It's a better way to do this.
There is a better way to do that, but they're not just saying why. They're like, God damn it, I don't like this guy, but he has all of our cool toys there in case something pops off. I stashed my guns at his house.
I mean, the same thing you're saying now could probably be said about the Ukraine.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
All right. Well, gentlemen, we're going to see where that goes. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not a big, pride parade person, right? But
perfect.
I also, like you said, I got to respect the fact that if you have a platform, it's not like he's out there trying to convince everybody to become prideful, if that makes sense. He's out there trying to get some level of justice for what he sees as an injustice in a foreign land that we're paying a lot of money for. So I can see when I listened to what the person was saying, I was like, if I close my eyes, I'd have no problem with this. But it's the representation of the hijab or whatever they had on with the half shirt. I just think that might be a little offensive. I understand
what you're saying, but I mean, again, these people were slamming refugee camps. Like, doctors are in buildings with no power. I don't care if this man had on a freaking bikini, bro. What he's saying needs to be heard, bro. Like, it's messing with me right now because, like, have you ever been to a third world country, bro?
Personally, no.
I'm from 2 of them.
Okay, so have you ever been to one that just got
Not war torn.
Oh my God. It's like the first thing you see are children.
Yep. Because their parents are dead.
You see children standing there bleeding with no home, bro. Like their house is a pile of rocks. Right. Broken leg, like what they're doing to those people is absolutely disgusting. Like
it's for the wrong reasons. Like, okay, somebody ran through a fence with a forklift and shot up maybe 50 or 100 people.
Now, that was a disgusting move too.
That was bad too. Yeah.
But that was some bad actors that don't even live there. And now does that give you a right to carpet bomb a whole goddamn nation? You know what I'm saying?
They're trying to obliterate them, bro. Like,
and they want us to stand by and let it happen and be like, yeah, go. You know,
where's the United Nations? Like, where's the rest of the world? Like,
they follow in the wallet, bro.
I know, but that's my issue. Like, so yeah, you said, why don't they just say what it is? Well, I think everybody knows what it is, but at some point, it's just like, all right, like we started this show. Jesus, come on back.
Right.
If it's Jesus, whatever it is, just come on back. Do something.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, I have no problem with protests personally, and that's not a P thing. I have no problem with protests personally. My whole thing is that I need them to say, these people who are protesting, I need them to say what it is in simple language so the average MAGA man can hear it and understand it. Because right now we're talking about justice and empathy and all. Like, no. We need to talk about, look, there's a better way to protect our shit in another nation rather than murdering a whole bunch of people. Because I'm going to tell you what, every single person that you murder with this carpet bombing and all this shit is going to be 5 people who hate us.
Oh, that's
you know what I mean?
How it is.
And so I'm just like, yo, stop it. Like, look, you want America to be the best as long as it can? Stop being a goddamn bully. Because everybody loved the jock who was cool at school. Everybody loved the jock who was cool at school. The dude who had the money, the dude who had the strength, but was still talking and helping the kid in the wheelchair up the stairs to class.
Right.
Everybody loved that guy. Everybody loved that guy. And he didn't post about it on social media when he helped that kid who was in the wheelchair up the stairs to class. He didn't post about it. The people who saw it knew about it, and then everybody talked about it. But I understand why the rest of the world hates America, because we beat everybody up, and then we walk around and tell everybody to their face, we're the greatest.
And we put defense posts or bases all over their countries. Have you ever seen a German military post in America?
Have not. And will never.
Yo, you can break
down.
I'll
never let it happen.
I'm lucky as hell that I was born here and I live here, but I was born in this particular generation.
Right.
But I swear, man, when you go to a third world nation, bro, these people are respectful of each other. Yes. Not so much us, but they're not looking for no They're normally not looking for a fight. They're just existing. It's when America goes over there and starts, you need to be like us, and like we're looking at them like they're
you
terrorists.
know you're better than them, right?
Yeah, like
all right,
these
you agree
people
with me?
are
Here's
not
some money. Go fight them.
They're not terrorists for no reason. You know what I'm saying? They've been provoked, been treated like crap. Like,
imagine if somebody came into your house.
We got to back up. We got to back up.
I want to say one last thing. Imagine if somebody came into your house and told somebody in your house that felt like they were mistreated and said, no, you know what? You're right. They're wrong. Here are guns. Go prove it.
Right.
Everybody's going to hate you for that.
I will end on this note right here.
God can bless a hot mess. Amen.
The gods have awakened. I am very happy to be here. Turn around, ladies, for me, please.
You know what? That was
needed.
That was a lot. That was needed. I'm just gonna say this. Anybody that's still watching, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel, man. We're definitely gonna be walking some lines here. And I appreciate the fact that Brick said what he had to say. Because, you know, a lot of times, I'm going to be honest on this YouTube thing. We're always so careful of trying to not piss off the algorithm that at times we don't even really get to express our opinions. And to see that opinion and that actual emotion, man, that was so real, man. Like I felt that because we're not allowed to be like that no more. Right. We can't say that we think things are wrong because it might offend somebody who thinks it's right.
We've already been blackballed for it.
Right.
Yeah. We're already having our problems. So that's fine. I'm right here on YouTube. I don't care. We might go viral for saying something. I get canceled like Candace Owens. I don't care. I really don't. Because I'm not going to not say. I'm not going to not say. I'm not going to have Bricks not say. Right. And I'm not going to have Bravo not say what we really feel as actual people. We live here too, nigga. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. We see the news. We see what's going on. We can form an opinion and we can come on this app or whatever we want to call this and we can say what we want to say. So YouTube, if you don't like it, I'm sorry. It is what it is. We stand on what the hell we say.
10 toes down.
BS.
Yeah, fuck you. We on a daily motion. We going to daily motion anyway.
See that shit? Chest poke out, yo. Yeah. I have no qualms.
No, everything you said, everything you said, Haze, is absolutely correct. And almost everything. The thing that is
almost.
Yeah, the thing is that I'm gonna say whatever because there needs to be a villain in the group.
Yeah, no. And that's fine. That's fine. I'll accept that. So let's get to the quote. Let's get to the quote.
You could have said, nah, bro. You know, I love what you say.
Yeah, exactly.
You just say, yeah, you're the villain. Fuck you.
But you with the quote, man.
Yeah, be you, nigga. Shit. Anyway, the quote of the day, and this is right in line with what we were just talking about.
Be you, nigga.
Is
villain ass nigga. Fuck your flower pants.
Old pussy mouth ass. Anyway.
Pussy mouth ass, preposterous, pillaging.
Let me bring it into the quote because the quote was serious. We were serious for so long. We had to break that. Right. It was too serious, yo. It got too serious. So the quote is: "The ultimate test of a moral society is the kind of world it leaves behind for the children." So, considering what we were just talking about, like he was talking about war-torn countries, that's what's being left behind for those kids that are now running around. They got to grow up in that. They got to live through it. And then you wonder why they grow up and they're like, oh, we hate America because they grew up in what they saw as a destruction that we started.
And there's a soft war happening right now where the old folks don't want to let the young folks have money. Try to buy a house under 30 years old. You know what I mean? Try to buy a car under 30 years old. You know what I mean? Try to start a business and get a business loan under 30 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that won't happen.
It's crazy right now. So there's a war, there's a soft war happening right now. And no, we do not have broken buildings. We have empty buildings. We have empty places that people can't afford to live in. We have jobs that, look, if you look at the heat map where it says, and the job, the average wage per hour multiplied by a whole month, and they can actually rent a place. It's like red everywhere.
Bro,
that's why everybody got roommates and all kinds of stuff. Like, these old people are literally attacking the young people, and they still want us to pay into their Social Security. It's absolutely crazy.
Hold on, yo. On that note, and this is a little different, but it's along the same. Bro, I was at the Food Lion today. And a pack of Canada Dry ginger ale was $8.50. Now,
a 6-pack?
12. But I just want to point out that this is fucking seasoned water in a can, bro. It's seasoned water.
Yeah.
Almost $9 for 12 cans of goddamn Canada Dry. Are you serious?
Do you know what's really gonna fuck you up? You know what's really gonna fuck you up?
Pockets.
Watch this. You know what's really gonna fuck you up? 12 20-ounce bottles of water will cost more when it's in those 20-ounce cans of Canada Dry. Yes, water costs more than soda.
No,
it doesn't.
No, it don't. Not at Walmart.
Yes, it.
Not at Dollar General, man.
I'm going to tell you.
Where are you shopping, sir? Where are you shopping?
I'm trying. Look, well, you watch. Go look. Go look. Go look. Go.
What's wrong with this nigga?
No, he's not. He's not off the mark. Water has now become expensive.
I'm talking about branded water. I'm talking about branded water, not store.
So you know what? He's actually look now. In his defense, at the airport, a liter of smart water. I think it's like $4. $4. So if you times that by 12, he's absolutely right.
Yeah. If you're going by fluid ounces and all that kind of stuff, but you know what? Come on, Bravo, man. Most of our viewers don't look at shit like that. It's too much.
But that's why we're here. But that's why we are here. But that's why we're here, because we need to purge the BS,
and
right?
Walmart, Target, and Amazon said they recently owned up and said, look, we know we've been overpriced or price gouged. So we're going to bring our prices down. But my thing is
for the summer is what they said.
For the summer.
For the summer. Yeah.
This is mighty kind of them. Like everything is getting out of reach.
So much money, bro. Yeah, we're gonna stop making money.
The manager at Wendy's now makes, I think, what is it, like 80 grand? It's somewhere between 80 and 100. And so they raised the minimum wage.
Yeah,
they raised this minimum wage, so like people are getting like $18 an hour or something to work at McDonald's, right? So what did these assholes do? Raise the price of Canada Dry to freaking $8 and some shit. Like, come on, bruh.
Right.
We're not
supposed to get ahead. We're not supposed to get ahead.
America burned the ladder, bro. They burned the ladder. The reason why we're even arguing about minimum wage is because people have to stay there. They burned the ladder. All these jobs that we're talking about, that we're trying to fight for and get them an increased minimum wage, these are supposed to be temporary jobs. But there's nowhere for people to go anymore. There's they gutted education. They made higher education stupid expensive. You know what I mean? Like, where are people supposed to go?
Yo, this is Bravo's moment, and I'm going to tell you why. He started this conversation saying, basically illustrating how Uncle Sam is making this a country so that these kids will go to jail.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yo, your point is proven. I don't have anything else left to say tonight. Man.
Me either, because I gotta go.
Yeah.
And it is
nice.
It's what it is. Jeez. I didn't know what I signed up for tonight. Well, y'all, we really purged some BS. So, like, subscribe, catch the next video. We out of here.
Yeah.